Hi friends, in this tutorial I'll show you how you can create navigation sidebar using PCF Power Apps framework. So to do that, I will create a folder. I will name it navigation bars. Okay. Then I will open Visual Studio Code. Inside my Visual Studio Code, I will drag and drop this folder. I will open a new terminal. Now here I will type back PCF init dash dash namespace. Let us call it nav bars. Then dash dash name. This one will be nav bar sidebar. Then dash dash template will be dataset. Then dash dash run dash npm dash install and hit enter. This will initialize my PCF project in this folder. As you can see, it has been initialized. Then it starts installing all the dependencies inside this package JSON file. Okay, it will install all the dependencies we are going to need. So I will explain what is this. The first file, which is so important, is this control manifest.input.xml. This is where you will find all the properties you are going to need. Okay, so as you can see, there are some examples here, but I don't need any of this. As all the dependencies get installed, I will now set my dataset property. So here I have to set 3 properties that I will need for each item inside this dataset. First of all, I will rename my dataset here to be nav items, and the display name key will be navigation items. Within here, I will add 3 properties. I will open angle bracket and then property dash set, then close the angle brackets. And here I will need the name. First property for the items is label, and the display name for this property will be label, and also of type single line text, and usage will be bound. What does mean bound? That means that this property's value will be provided by the Power App and is expected to change dynamically during the app's use. Okay, we have bound, and we have input, and we have the third one output. So input means that this value is static, and the Power Apps Maker will set its value once in the studio, and it is not expected to change while the user is running the app. Output means that this property value will be set from the PCF to Power Apps. Okay, means that this value is supposed to be rendered or sent back to Power Apps. Okay, label property is its usage is bound, means that this property will change dynamically during the app's use. Okay, so I need 3 properties for each item inside my dataset. My dataset, inside the second property will be screen name of type screen name, single line text, and of course it's bound to, and it's required true. Also label is required. The third property will be icon, and display name icon svg, and of type single line dot text, and usage is bound. It is not required. The third property I will use is the output property. Okay, So the output property will be the selected screen. I want the PCF to tell the Power Apps, the application, look, this is the current selected screen. So now for the output property, I will need two properties. The first one is for my current screen name. The second one is for my selected screen. Okay, so here I will add a property element. Okay, I open angle brackets, then property, then I close the angle brackets. So here the name will be, of course, current screen. Then the display name key will be the current screen name. Then description key will be this to tell the user, the application maker, what this property does. So the name of the currently active screen in the app. I will need another property for the selected screen. So it's just exactly like this one, but the name will be selected screen, and the display name key, of course, selected screen, and the description, the name of the selected of the screen to navigate of type, of course, single line of type should be single line text, and usage, it is not bound, it is output, because this is a property that the PCF send back to the app. Okay, so here output the same for the current screen property of type single line text, and usage will be output, because these two properties are needed to be sent back from PCF to Power Apps. So I will save this, but before I generate the properties inside my manifest types, before generate their interfaces, because each property should have an interface in this file. But before that, I should add my CSS file here. So I will, inside navigate sidebar, I will create a new folder. We'll call it CSS. Inside this CSS, I will create a new file. I will call it styles.css. I will go back to control manifest, and here I will need another line for closed element. I will need another element for CSS here, and the path, I will add the path to the styles file. So here css/styles.css, I will save this. I will get rid of all of these comments here because I don't need them. Save this. Now I need to generate, inside generated here, then file manifest types, all the interfaces for my properties here, the dataset and these two properties output. So I will save this, then I will generate the interfaces. To generate the interfaces, so I need to run this command, npm run refresh types, and all the interfaces needed for my properties will be generated. As you can see, they have just been generated. These interfaces is just like a contract between you and the compiler. You tell the compiler, these are the properties I will provide. Whenever my properties are different from what is set here, just throw an error. That is simple, okay? So now it's time to go to index and add some code inside our class here, nav sidebar. So let us first of all run our PCF component. So to run PCF component, we have options here. So inside this script we have build. This is to build. This is for building, and this is with this start we can start our component. But whenever we add some updates and we save, our component does not get updated. And so to see all the updates results in real time, we need to run start watch. So here npm run start semicolon watch. This will spin up our component and we can see all the updates in real time. Whenever we save our component, we see those updates rendered on the browser. Okay, and now as you can see, my component has been built and it's running on this port 8182. So there is nothing displayed on the browser, and we have all my properties. Nav items here. I can select any table. I already have a table in format CSV. We will see that in few minutes. And I have the other properties, output property. So here we have this property current screen and property selected screen. We have our nav items, and now let us add some code here. So inside my index.ts, let me first get rid of all of these comments here because I don't need all of this. Okay, this one, also this and this. Okay, I don't need these two lines here. So the first thing to do is to add the properties, some properties for my class. I will need private will be container and of type HTML div element. I will need another property will be private selected. This is for my selected screen and of type string. I need another property private will be notification notify output changed, and it's a function that return nothing, void. Okay, the fourth property will be also private and it's active link element and of type also HTML element, or it can be null. These are the four private properties for my class that I will need to communicate inside the class. Okay, init function. This is the first thing to run in my application, in my component framework. So I will add the first initializations needed for my component. The first thing is to build the HTML elements, the div for my container, and the nav sidebar class CSS. So then I will notify Power Apps. Okay, so let us build this. So this, which means this class dot container, which means this property, the property for this class, equal document dot create element, and inside this will be div. So we are going to assign div element to this container, this property for my class. Okay, this is the first thing. The second thing, I need to give this container some CSS. So this container, I will add class list. This to add some CSS, add nav sidebar. This class has not yet been created inside CSS file, so we will come back later to see how we can add it, and we see results on the screen. If I save now, nothing will appear. So let us continue. Here, this dot notify output changed will be notify output changed, which is not yet notify changed. Then I need to add to the container this container. Now I will add all of this container and set it inside this container the parameter, because init function also has some parameters. So it has one parameter named container, and it is of type HTML div element. So I will set this container, which is a property of my class, inside this container. Okay, so here container, this parameter, append a child, which is a JavaScript method, and the child will be this, which is my class, and its property container. Okay, I will save this and continue to update a view. Okay, now inside update view, I will set the container of my class to empty, container.inner HTML to empty string, then const dataset. Now I will fetch my dataset item. So where can I get this dataset from? The context input just here. I will use it, equal context dot parameters, all of these parameters, data input, then it's nav items, this one. Okay, this will assign all the nav items, all the items inside my dataset to this variable. Okay, once I do that, I need to get the current screen name. Okay, active screen. I will create a variable called active screen, equal context parameters current screen dot row, and it does not exist, and that is because we don't have current screen as input parameter. So here in my control manifest, again I will go back to my control manifest, and in my current screen usage output, so here it should be bound and not output. So we can here we can say that this property is changing dynamically during the app's use. I will save this, then I will open a new terminal and regenerate my interfaces for the properties. So here npm run refresh types, this will regenerate the interfaces for my properties. And if I go back to manifest, I will find this current screen here in my inputs, and there is no error, so the code does not complain anymore. Now I will add a verification if dataset, this variable, is no longer loading. This means if this dataset is loaded, is no longer loading, then I will open curly brackets, then within I will loop through this dataset sorted record ID, then for each, okay, I will get the record ID for each item, then it's a callback function inside which I will create a variable called record. This variable will be each item dataset record, then the record ID, this parameter. Okay, so this will give me a record the item for this ID. Okay, so I will now get the first label for this item. Okay, label equal record. Each record has some method properties. So here get formatted value label. Okay, then the screen name, now property of screen name the record, and get formatted value, now the screen name, and the third property, the icon URL equal record the item, then I will get the icon URL. So get formatted value icon. Okay, this is my dataset. These are all the property for each item inside my dataset. So then I will now create the nav link. So just below another variable called nav link. This to make me able to navigate. Okay, document create element of A, then navlink has of course some CSS class list add, and this class has not yet been created, nav link. Okay, then nav link href will be just hashtag, then nav link set attribute data screen, then screen name. This is what will be, this is the text will be inside the A element, a link. Now if the screen name equal active screen, I want some CSS to get applied. So here nav link class list add active. Okay, when the screen name equal active screen name, of course, that means that I want to show that a button has been selected. Okay, I will just add the icon, then I will save. If there is icon URL, then const icon element, okay, equal document, and create element will be of course image, and this icon element will have some CSS class list add nav icon, then we will have icon element resource because it is an image element. Okay, and the resource of course will be the icon URL. We created these variables here. Okay, so then we will add this to nav link, the element just here we create now. We have just created the image. We need now to insert this image inside the A element. Okay, so to insert it, we will use some JavaScript method, append child, which will be icon element. Okay, just under icon element, I will now create the label for each button. Okay, const label element equal document. Here I will create of course element of span, then label element has some CSS, so I will give it class name, add here nav text, then also I will insert inside this label element, I will insert the text equal label. Okay, then I will add this label element, I will insert it inside the nav link. Okay, nav link append child, and here label element. Okay, now I will handle the event for the nav link. Nav link, add event listener. When we click this nav link, when we click this nav link, there will be an event. So we will handle that event. So event, we will prevent refreshing, reloading page. So prevent default. We prevent default, then we will tell Power Apps what screen to navigate to. So this, which is the class, PCF class, selected screen, private property for the class will be open brackets, event current target as HTML element, okay, then get attribute, of course, data screen, and it can be null, then notify change it. This will notify Power Apps, okay? And now we will insert all the navigation sidebar inside the PCF container. So this container append child nav link. Okay, I will save this, and as you can see, we have here 3 items, but we need to add CSS. But before doing that, let us continue and finish our get output function. So here, let us just, of course, we need to return selected screen will be this selected screen, the property for our PCF, and also the current screen, and will be this also selected screen. Okay, I will save this, then I will go to style CSS and add the CSS. Okay, so the first class nav sidebar for this class. So for the sake of time, I will just paste CSS. Okay, save this. Let's see. Okay, then nav link, save this, nav link for this one, then hover, then the rest of CSS, I will save this. That is it. Now I will upload I have a CSV format table. I will show you. I already have a table in format CSV. So label, screen name, and icon, and the ID. Test my PCF using this table. So I will click to select a file here, then nav sidebar CSV, and here I will pick the column, label will be label, screen name for the column screen name, icon, icon. Then I will click on apply, and as you can see, I have my PCF nav bar. Okay, so I will now build bar and upload it to my Power Platform environment, okay, and start using it. Okay, so to build and push to Power Platform, I will stop this. Okay, I will stop this. So now to publish my navbar to my Power Platform environment, there are some steps to follow. The first thing that I need to create a solutions folder inside my component folder. Okay, so here I will move toward this nav sidebar, cd nav sidebar, and within here I will create a folder called solutions. Okay, and make directory solutions, hit enter, then I will move to my solutions folder. Okay, solutions, and here I should initialize the solution. Now to initialize the solution, I will use Power Platform CLI. So pack using Power Platform CLI, solution, then init, then dash dash publisher name, then here I can whether use a publisher name that exists already on my Power Platform environment, or I create a new one by typing a new one. So I will create ml-taleb mlt, then dash dash publisher. I will pick publisher prefix. I will pick one that exists already, okay? mlt, then I will hit enter, okay? And now, as you can see, my Dataverse solution project with the name solutions created successfully in this folder solution. Okay, now I need to add a reference to my solution. This one, add a reference to my project where this file exists, PCF proj. Okay, so to add that reference, I should use Power Platform CLI back solution add reference and dash dash. I here, as you can see, I am in solution. I will go outside of solution folder, then I will go outside of nav sidebar to arrive in my root folder where this file navigation bars.pcf proj file exists. So I add a reference to this file, okay? And then I will hit enter. This file contains all the property of my PCF, okay? Once this reference gets created, so I can now publish my solution. But now I need to build the solution. So to build the solution, we should have .NET installed on our local machine. So I will type .NET build. This will build my solution. Okay, so let us do that. Now, as the build has been successful, now before publish the PCF, I should first of all make sure that I am already connected to my Power Platform environment. Okay, so to verify, always type back auth list, okay, then hit enter, and this will show you all the environments you have and also show you to which one you are connected against. And I am connected against this environment as you see here. So now I will publish my PCF. So before publishing my PCF, I should make sure that I am in the same folder as this file navigation bars.pcf proj. So here cd dot, then another one, and now I am in the same folder as this file. Okay. The second thing I should make sure of is that I am connected to the right Power Platform environment. So to verify, you can type back auth list. This will show you all the environments you have on your Dataverse for Power Platform and to which one you are connected. As you can see, I am connected to this one, which is a default one and it is not recommended for production. So here I will clean this, then I will publish my PCF. Back PCF push, then publisher prefix mlt, and then hit enter. Now this will publish my PCF to my Power Platform environment. Once it is published, we will go to our application and start the rest of our work. And now, as my PCF has been published, I will now start to add it to my Canvas app on Power Platform. So let us go to Power Apps now and start using our navbar in a real Canvas app. Okay, So here I am on the same environment where I published my PCF. Now I will click on start with a blank canvas app, and it is tablet size, and it is only a demo of how we can use PCF nav bar. Okay, but we will focus only on how to implement the nav bar and how we implement the navigation functionality. So here I will rename the first screen home. Okay, I will also add two more screens. Second will be, I will name it screen admin. The third will be screen tasks. And now on start property for the app, I will create a new collection. Okay, clear collect, and I will name it call navigation. Okay, and inside here I will add my three objects, each object for a screen. Okay, the first object will be home label home screen home, this one, and the icon is fetched from this URL. Okay, and the ID is 1, and this is the second object. It is admin panel screen name screen admin, this one, and the icon fetched from this URL, and the ID is 2. And the third object for the third screen is my tasks label screen name screen tasks, and the icon fetched from this URL, and the ID is 3. So now I will run on start, so my collection get created. So you can see if I look to the variables collections, I will find my collection call navigation created. Okay, so now I will add the component. So to add the component, if I try to add it, I will not find it here. Okay, so to add the component, I should click on components tab, then here import components, and as you can see, this window will open up, and there are a tab for canvas, a tab for code. If I click on code tab, I will find all the components I have. As you can see, my nav sidebar is here. Okay, I should import it to my canvas app. So here I will select it, and I will click on import. Okay, now it has been imported. If I try now to insert it, I will find these code components gets added. Find that this code components gets added. I will find my nav sidebar PCF just here. I will click on it, and it will be inserted. It asks for data source, of course, will be call navigation, and perfect. As you can see, it's awesome. Okay, I will just put it like this. Okay, you can, as you can see, it's responsive. You can, okay, I will use the same component for the other screens and also for this screen. Now if I test this, there is no navigation. I cannot navigate yet. I cannot navigate. So to navigate, we should add some logic. First of all, let me add here a text label. Let us call it home. This home, copy this, come here, admin panel, and here task. Okay, so now to start use our nav bar for navigation, we should add some logic. When we select our nav sidebar control or PCF, we just go to onChange property here and we need to use switch here. Instead of nested if statement, I will use switch, okay? Switch inside here self, which means the control itself, then selected screen, okay? In this selected screen, I tell the switch to look for this variable value. If it is home screen, then navigate to screen home, okay? But also I need to know which screen is selected. So I can here shows in on navigation bar which screen is selected, okay? So then end set, this is a global variable, will be called selected, okay? And it's of type text string screen home, okay? If it is screen admin, this value, if it is this value, if this value equals to screen admin, then it will navigate to screen admin here, and of course the selected variable will be of value screen admin, okay? Set selected screen, it should be selected like this, selected will be screen admin, okay? And screen admin, then if not, just navigate to screen task. The default value will be navigate to screen tasks, and of course set the selected variable to be screen tasks, and close the switch brackets, format tasks, format text, and here is my switch statement. So with this, I can navigate to any screen I want using this nav bar, but I should use the same logic for each nav bar I have on my screens, okay? So here on change also I should use the same switch statement, and also inside my screen task on change I will paste the same switch statement, okay? Now if I test my app, I can navigate now. I will go to home, I can go to admin panel, I can go to task, can go to home, admin panel, and task, okay? But as you can see, there is nothing that show me that I have selected home or I have selected the admin panel. So to deal with that, we have a property in my nav sidebar, if you remember, which called current screen. Okay, the current screen should be selected variable where we store the current screen name. If the current screen property equal to the current screen, here now it will show that this button is selected. The button for the right screen is selected. I will use the same logic with the others. Current screen will be selected, and also the current screen will be selected. If I test this again, I will go to home. As you can see, it's looked at, it's selected. This one it's selected, and this one tasks is selected. Home, it is selected, and I have navigated to home screen. Admin panel, it's selected, and I have navigated to that screen. If I add some background here just to show a little bit something like this, okay, let us test this. Now home, it's okay for home too, background, and for task as well. Okay, now if I test this, home, it's selected, okay, admin, it is admin selected, my task selected. So that is it for today. Thank you so much, and see you the next video.